and welcome to the Discover the Dakota Culture and Heritage, a year-long series celebrating the Dakota people in recognition of the 150th anniversary of the U.S.-Dakota War of 1862. My name is Heather. Thank you for coming this morning. This educational series is an extension of the effort of Bud Lawrence, Jim Buckley, and Amos Owen, who organized the first Mahkato Wacipi 40 years ago, and worked to bridge the gap between Indian and non-Indian people. The Discover the Dakota series has been in the making since early 2011, when the Blue Earth County Historical Society staff, with the help of Bud Lawrence, organized a meeting with Hereditary Chief Ernest Wabasha of the Mahkato tribe and his wife Vernell to discuss the historic anniversary of the U.S.-Dakota conflict. The conversation led to a decision to observe the historic anniversary through a series of relationship-building activities for all ages that will strengthen mutual understanding and use the opportunity to create a teachable moment for both cultures. Throughout this year, we have learned about the Dakota tradition of storytelling, arts and crafts, music and dance, games, and the importance of the eagle in the Dakota culture. Today, the focus is on the 40-year history of the Mahkato Wacipi and what to know when you go to the powwow in 2 weeks, and other efforts towards reconciliation. I want to extend a special thanks and welcome to today's presenters, Bud Lawrence, Jim Buckley, and Lauren Dean Boutine. Thanks to the efforts of Bud, Jim, and Amos Owen, in 1965, the Mankato community has annually celebrated the Dakota culture and heritage through the Mahkato Wacipi, held each September since 1972. Today we will learn more about the origins of the powwow, as well as some of the highlights of the past 40 years. Lauren Dean Boutine, local author, is here to share his new book, The Mankato Reconciliation Powwow. Bud will also touch on the efforts to create a memorial in Reconciliation Park, remembering the 38 Dakota warriors that were executed and how you can help. Without further ado, please help me welcome Bud Lawrence, Jim Buckley, and Lauren Dean Boutine.
Thank you. Thank you. We were expecting a much bigger turnout today, but this is a cozy little group that's going to be fun to talk to. This being an election year, you'll be relieved to know that I'm not a politician. I'm not here to get your vote. I'm here to talk about, according to the newspaper, I'm here to talk about etiquette at the powwow, and I'll do that. I think I know a little bit about it. The general idea is just to be courteous to everybody and ask somebody if you're going to take their picture, ask them if that's okay. And usually the master of ceremonies at the powwow will tell you what you need to do. The general idea, the thing people run into trouble with at the powwow is that that dance arena is a blessed area during the powwow. Our spiritual leader blesses it on Friday morning, and from that point on until Sunday evening, it's like a church. And there's no buffoonery that goes on out in the dance arena. It's a serious kind of thing. And there are some special rules that go with that being a dance arena. And the master of ceremonies will tell you when you need to stand up for any reason, take your hat off for any reason. So the etiquette, and those things are all part of the etiquette. But ask somebody, if you're going to take their picture when you're there, ask them if that's okay. I've written 3 books. What I'm going to talk about today is my most recent one. I wrote a book called Cut Nose, which was about the 1862 war and the hanging downtown. And then I wrote another book called While God Was Hidden, that sort of describes my, not sort of, it actually does describe my spiritual evolution from a devoted Catholic altar boy to a down in wool skeptic for most of my adult life. I didn't believe in any kind of spirits at all. Until I got involved with the Indians and I had some spiritual experiences that were convincing.
Make a couple comments.
Bud wants to make a couple comments. Good.
Happy to have you a couple. This powwow, it's been here for 40 years, and so a lot of things have developed and happened over those years that Buck here has been involved with, and myself. And it was interesting to me, about 6 years or 7 years after we had the first powwow in 1972, to find out from the Indians' point of view how successful this reconciliation effort really was. From my point of view, I thought it was great because there were a lot of good things happening I could see. And Amos always talked glowingly about it, but he was a friend of mine, and I wanted to talk to somebody that probably wasn't really a friend, but somebody who I would have confidence in talking to. So I talked to a younger Indian who had been here celebrating the powwow since 1972, and I asked him how he felt about coming back to Mankato, what the history Mankato had. And he said, coming back to Mankato and the way people receive us here in Mankato, he said, it's just great. He said, it's like wiping a veil of false guilt away. And I thought those words probably were applicable to a lot of the other Dakota people if they were to be asked the same question. So that was good. And I think that the powwow, in the 40 years that it's been in existence now, has developed a real strong connection between the Dakota people and Mankato. And of course, we've got the Reconciliation Park, which I really think is the pinnacle of the reconciliation effort, because not only does it mean reconciliation between the white people and the Indian people, but all nations, all people. And we're developing an addition to the park. Hopefully we'll have it done by December 26th when we have the special meeting or special get-together of Dakota people out at Land of Memories Park. We hope to have it done by that time. And in that particular monument scheme of things, we're going to have a plaque, a large plaque. It's about, I'd say about 6 feet high and maybe 3 or 4 feet wide, where it'll list all the Dakota people who were hung in Mankato on one side facing the south, and then facing the north there will be a prayer by Eli Taylor, a Dakota elder from Sioux Valley in Manitoba. And he's deceased now, but he has a prayer of peace, and that prayer will be printed on the plaque as well on the north side. And then there will be a poem by a local lady in relationship to peace. I just wanted to mention those couple things.
Mention anything else you want to, too. It's fine with me. And Jim would like to say something.
Just a little interesting sidelight. Over the years, as we started to work on the powwow and the information on it, Bud, being a good Norwegian German, looked like an Indian, and even the Indians thought he was an Indian, except for one man said, "You have blue eyes, you're not an Indian." And of course, Bud agreed with that. But I would introduce Bud over the years to many people as my Indian friend, and they were so happy to shake the hand of an Indian. It's just you did a good rapport there with people, and they enjoyed it. Not so humorous event happened in that at the Y, we had to go down and take a steamer down then, and past the editor of the Free Press was an active user of the Y down there. And in the process, Bud Bud confessed that he was not an Indian. No Indian blood, just Norwegian and German. And did he get upset? He was very angry, and he didn't buy that. You're not telling the truth. But it was just by the side adventure of that. Without a doubt, I'd say that one of the biggest things is that the events of the third graders at the powwow, and what an education that they have, and they overcome, to a certain degree, the prejudice of their parents that they passed down naturally. And over the years, for the 37 years it's been going, you can see as the youngsters grow up, there's a different attitude because of the experience that they have. And there's about 800 third graders each year that went out there. So it's a very good event.